The recent 3.5 livestream gave us a lot to be excited about. We will get Xuanling and Sui Sui as the new character, amazing reruns that is worth to consider, and of course the version 1 selector banner. But probably I will cover that in a different video. So today our only focus is Aemeath, Lynae, and Luuk. Are they still worth it on your account? Seriously, patch 3.5 has amazing banners. Now's the perfect time to stock up on asteroids. If you are worried about running out, I personally use cards whenever I need to top up because they offer low prices and huge discounts. Right now, cards has some amazing promotions for Wuthering Waves players. New users can enjoy up to 40% off their first purchase, plus you can claim additional 15% discount coupon. If you are looking for the best value, don't miss their bundle deals. The 6000 plus 1600 bundle is available for only $84, while the all-in-one bundle costs just $170. Even better, if you purchase either bundle, you will also receive a free Lynae subscription, giving you even more value. Loyal players can claim up to extra 7% off, saving up to $10. Plus, there's another 5% off coupon available. Just head over to the event page, tap collect all, and your discounts will be applied automatically during checkout. The event ends in just 2 days, so you don't want to miss it. The top-up process is also simple. Just enter your UID, select your server, choose your package, pick your payment method, and you are done. In my experience, the credit usually arrive within about a minute. If you're wondering whether it's safe, Cards is a reliable platform with great reviews on Google Play, so you can top up with confidence. And it's not just for Wuthering Waves. If you play a Honkai Star Rail, Cards offer a self-service top-up system. Simply top up your platform wallet first, and every recharge instantly gives you 10% cashback with no maximum limit. They also support other games. In fact, if you play Zero Zero, Honkai Star Rail, or Genshin, you can claim $1 wallet credit that can be used directly toward your game top-ups. Just head over to the Card Shop website, open the game top-up page, and click the promotional banner to claim it. So make sure to check out Cards through the official website shown on the screen, scan the QR code, or simply use the link in the description to start saving on your next top up. Good luck on your next 5-star! Now, ever since version 3.0, Lynae has proven just how valuable she is, and with every new resonator that's been released, her value has only continued to increase. The biggest reason for that is how universally useful she is. She fits into an incredible number of team compositions and works well alongside almost every DPS in the game. Besides offering a huge number of damage buffs, Lynae also contributes a respectable amount of burst damage herself. Her rotation is fairly straightforward, she's comfortable to play, and she also brings some unique utility through her travel style ability. She's still the only character that's capable of applying both Stun Strain and Stun Rupture shifting, which gives her even more utility than most sub DPS units. And now that she's returning with a brand new summer outfit, it's no surprise she's caught the attention of a lot of players. Even now, she's easily one of the strongest resonators you can pull for your account. Looking at her buff specifically, most of them benefits a wide variety of characters. That said, she provides even more value to resonator whose damage revolves around liberation. Her outro skill alone boosts liberation damage by 25%, which is a massive increase. Because of that, characters like Aemeath and Hyuki, who are currently among the strongest, pair exceptionally well with Lynae. Since a large portion of their damage count as liberation damage, they can fully take advantage of everything she offers. For both of those DPS characters, their strongest teams are either a Twin Break composition or a negative status composition. Lynae serves as a dedicated sub DPS in one of those setups, which really highlights just how valuable she is. Considering how popular Aemeath and Hyuki are, I'm confident most players own at least one of them. Outside of those two, Lynae also works incredibly well with plenty of other resonators. Even if you don't have dedicated sub DPS built for a certain character, she can comfortably fill that role and still performs extremely well. One more thing that is worth mentioning is Morny. If you have her on your account, Lynae becomes even a stronger consideration. Those two are commonly paired together alongside a variety of different main DPS characters. They are not absolutely tied to each other, but because Lynae applies stun shifting while acting as a sub DPS, she enables Morny to fully utilize her kit. She also makes it much easier for Morny to work with DPS characters that don't naturally apply stun shifting themselves. At the end of the day, Lynae remains one of the best investments you can make. She works alongside some of the strongest main DPS units in the game, and despite being released several versions ago, she's still widely considered the best universal sub DPS available. If you still don't have her, she's absolutely worth considering. Moving on to her signature weapon, it's easy to see why it's so valuable. Along with increasing Lynae's own damage, it also grants every resonator 24% all damage bonus after tune shifting has been triggered enough times. In other words, every team benefits from Lynae holding this weapon, making her even stronger as a universal support and sub DPS. Right now, very few characters can actually make proper use of this weapon because its passive requires the user to inflict tune shifting. As for Lynae herself, is obviously outstanding weapon. If your goal is to maximize the damage of the team she's supporting, then her signature is definitely worthwhile pick up. That being said, if you are not able to pull it, there are still some excellent alternatives available from the standard banner. The physical homogenizer is her best alternative if your focus is increasing Lynae's personal damage output. On the other hand, static mist provides attack buff to the next resonator that swaps in, giving your main DPS additional support. Both weapons are fantastic options, and they are almost like her signature weapon split into two separate effects. Since both are essentially free to obtain, you can simply choose whichever one better fits your team and playstyle. Overall, Lynae's signature is definitely an excellent investment, especially since she continues to appear in so many top-performing teams as one of the game's best sub DPS characters. Joining Lynae during the first phase is Luuk, another Spectral character, but unlike Lynae, he's dedicated main DPS. Luuk unfortunately had a difficult launch because he was released immediately after Aemeath, who at the time completely took over the meta. Between her incredible animations and the massive amount of damage she was capable of dealing, she was widely considered the new best main DPS in the game. Trying to follow a release like that was always going to be tough, especially since everyone already knew Luuk was not going to match Aemeath's damage output. Even with all that, there were still plenty of reasons to pull for Luuk. For starters, melee characters are pretty rare in Wuthering Waves, so that alone made him appealing to a lot of players. Beyond that though, he's simply a strong unit. He's still the premier Spectral main DPS, and compared to the only other notable Spectral carry at that time, Zani in the Spectral Frazzle team, he's much easier to build. In many ways, Luuk was designed to be complete opposite of Spectral Frazzle duo of Zani and Phoebe. He does not rely on specific sub DPS to perform well, and he does not need his signature weapon to be effective either. Of course, if you are looking to squeeze every bit of damage out of him, pairing him with sub DPS characters like Denia or Lynae is still the optimal setup. That said, because his kit revolves around basic attack damage and he's capable of applying tune shifting on his own, he also works really well with characters like Sanhua and Murni. As a result, he has access to several strong team options without demanding a ton of investment. That's one of the biggest reasons Luuk appealed to so many players, especially newer ones. He delivers solid damage, does not require expensive teammates, and is fairly budget friendly compared to a lot of the newer DPS characters. There are a few drawbacks to keep in mind though. While he's definitely more free-to-play friendly than most recent releases, he is not the easiest character to master, and there are certain types of content where he simply is not at his best. Luuk has one of the more technical playstyles in the game. His optimal combos require you to smoothly chain multiple abilities together, and several of those sequences involve aerial attacks where he's constantly dashing across the battlefield. Luuk can sometimes feel a little frustrating to play. Because of that, he won't be everyone's cup of tea. Another thing to consider is that most of his kit is built around single target damage. That's why he is not the strongest choice for AoE heavy content or modes like Wuthering Waves. He is not unusable in there by any means. Some of his abilities do have respectable area coverage, but overall you'll have to work much harder to get the same results compared to many other top tier DPS characters. As long as you understand where he shines though, Luuk is still excellent pickup. In content like Tower of Adversity and Matrix, where single target performance matter most, he's absolutely capable of carrying your account. Of course, if you are simply looking for the strongest all-around DPS, there are other characters who perform exceptionally well in every game mode, instead of excelling mainly in specific situations. But if you enjoy Luuk's gameplay or simply like his design, he's still a fantastic main DPS that's well worth considering. As for signature weapon, I would not call it a must pull. Generally speaking, signature weapons are always nice to have on main DPS characters since they are responsible for most of the team's damage. However, he has access to an excellent free alternative in the Pulsation Bracelet, which is available through the standard banner and was practically designed to be his best non-signature option. Because of that, his performance without the signature weapon is not far behind. If you have the resources and want to maximize his damage, then picking up his signature is absolutely a worthwhile investment. But unlike some characters who don't have strong replacement options, Luuk can comfortably skip his signature and still perform at a very high level. Moving on to the second phase, one of the strongest main DPS characters in the current meta is making her return. Right now, it's still difficult to say exactly how Xuanling will perform when she releases because the Havoc Bane team has not been fully completed yet. That means there's a very real chance that Aemeath will still remain the strongest main DPS throughout version 3.5. That alone says a lot about how powerful she is. She only debuted back in version 3.1, and with Denia arriving in the previous update to complete her Fusion Burst team, it's only natural that she's still sitting comfortably near the top of the meta as one of the game's biggest damage dealers. As I mentioned earlier, Aemeath has two premium team compositions thanks to her unique resonance mode, which lets her alternate between Tune Break playstyle and Fusion Burst. That gives her incredible amount of flexibility. On top of that, her kit includes several unique mechanics, including the ability to apply tune strength shifting and build Fusion Burst stacks, both of which tie directly into her synergies as well as her own damage rotation. Like many modern characters, Aemeath's kit has a lot of depth, but despite everything going on, she's actually pretty straightforward to play. Her rotation is not completely mindless, but is also nowhere near as complicated as it might look, and once you get the hang of it, she's capable of putting incredible amount of damage. Then there are her animations, which are honestly some of the best in the entire game. She has multiple resonance skills, each with its own unique visual effects, along with 2 different liberation animations, one of which even features the Exostrider. Looking at the meta, Aemeath dominates content like Tower of Adversity and Matrix, while also performing exceptionally well in AoE-focused modes like Wuthering Waves. That's what separates her from someone like Luuk. Rather than being designed for a specific type of content, Aemeath is an all-around powerhouse that can excel in virtually every game mode. That being said, there are still some small differences depending on the team you are running. If you are pairing her with Lynae and Morny, she will generally perform a little better in single target content. Meanwhile, her Fusion Burst team with Dinia and Chiza offers much stronger crowd control, making that composition more effective in AoE situations. Both teams are excellent overall, and neither one struggles in endgame content. The difference is simply that each composition has its own strengths, allowing Aemeath to shine a little more depending on the scenario. Regardless of which team you choose, clearing endgame content is not much of a concern. With the right investment and proper support, Aemeath outputs an absurd amount of damage. Now let's talk about her signature weapon, because this is one I would seriously consider. At the moment, it's essentially tailor-made for Aemeath. The passive requires the user to trigger either Toon Raptor Shifting or Fusion Burst, and currently, no other one-handed sword character can reliably activate those conditions beside Aemeath herself. Once the passive is active, it grants a massive boost to both her liberation damage and fusion damage, pushing her damage output to an entirely different level and making every piece of content noticeably easier to clear. Unlike Luuk or Lynae, who both have excellent free-to-play options, Aemeath does not have many strong replacements. Her best substitute is Emerald of Genesis, which is still perfectly usable, but there are pretty noticeable gap between that weapon and her signature. Looking at everything as a whole, version 3.5 is shaping up to be one of the strongest banner lines up we have had in quite some time. When it comes to the reruns and the new featured characters though, your priorities should always depend on your account. If you are missing a strong main DPS but already own characters like Lynae or other fusion-focused sub-DPS unit, then Aemeath is probably the easiest recommendation. She performs at incredibly high level and comfortably handle every type of endgame content. If you are okay with the fact that Luuk is not particularly strong in AoE content and simply want a DPS who performs well without requiring a huge amount of investment, then he's still a very solid option, especially if you enjoy using male characters. On the other hand, if your account already has plenty of capable main DPS units, I would highly recommend picking up Lynae if you don't already have her. Out of everyone on these banners, she's easily the most flexible character. She fits into countless teams' compositions, alongside many of the strongest DPS characters in the game, and her long-term value is almost unmatched. She is definitely one of those characters you will never regret pulling. As for the brand new characters, I have a feeling that Xuanling will eventually establish herself as one of the strongest main DPS units in the game. I just don't think that will happen immediately at launch because her Havoc-focused team is not fully complete yet. For now, she will likely have to rely on either a double support setup with Sui or wait until a dedicated sub-DPS is released. If you are willing to be patient and invest in her over time, she will probably have the longest lifespan simply because she's the newest main DPS on the roster. If that's not something you are interested in, and your account already has multiple negative status teams, especially Hyuki Glacial setup, then Sui may actually be the better priority. While nothing has been officially confirmed yet, there's a very good chance that she's intended to be the final missing piece for Hyuki's Glacial team. At the end of the day, every character in version 3.5 offers a lot of value, so there really is not a bad choice here. Just consider what your account needs the most and prioritize the character that fills that role best. So that's all about rerun breakdowns for patch 3.5. So tell me, are you going to pull these amazing reruns or instead focusing on the new characters? Please share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like and subscribe button, turn notification as well so you won't be missing out on any of my Wuthering Waves content. I will see you guys on my next one. Bye bye!